everyone, it's Ginny. I'm just having a little bit of a play today. I cleaned out my drawers the other night and I came across something that I'd forgotten I had, which is embossing glue. A friend of mine, not last Christmas, the Christmas before, gave me a big box of scrapbooking items, and this was amongst it. And at the time I remember thinking, oh, I don't know what I would do with that. But I had a look at it last night and read the instructions, and apparently what you do is you lay down the glue on whatever project you're doing and you leave it to dry for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you put embossing powder over it and heat it up with the heat gun, and apparently it bubbles up and then you can stick things in it. So I thought that sounds really exciting, so I want to have a play with this. I actually did have a play with it off camera before, and I've made something which I'll show you after. What I want to do now is just have you watch along while I do another one. So what I'm doing is, also in my drawer when I was cleaning out, I came across these toilet paper molds I'd made ages ago, and then they sat in the drawer and I never did anything with them. So what it is, it's I just made a circle with toilet paper, and I did that following Eileen McInnes's tutorial on how to make toilet paper molds, and I'll put a link to that video because it's really good, really shows you how to do it really well. So how I made this was I just used a bottle cap, and if you can see in there it's got like a rim around the inside, so I thought I'd give that a try, and I did. And so you cram all the toilet paper in there, wait for it to dry and then pop it out again. So yeah, that's what I did. I thought about doing it on camera and showing you how to make it, which I think I will, because I prepared ahead and cut out all these strips. So what you do is you get, in case you don't know or you're interested, you get several, what are they called? I'll call them sheets of paper, and just fold them over. So you get 4, and then break that off, and then you just cut them into strips, which I won't do the whole thing now because it takes time, and then you just pull them undone and you've got strips. So then whatever you want to use, you can use all kinds of different molds. I've made teddy bears out of a ice cube tray that was shaped with teddy bears, and I've done some hearts out of a chocolate box. So I'm just using my old brush, which I've destroyed. I accidentally left it with wet glue on it the other day and it dried out, so I thought, well, I saved it because I got the brushes apart now. I soaked it in hot water, but I thought it's probably not, the bristles are broken and it's not that great for painting anymore, so I'll just use this as my glue brush, I suppose, and using odd things. So you just sort of put it in there with a wet brush and pounce it down, and just keep doing that, layer and layer. Ooh. It's sticking to the brush. Yeah, Eileen explained that you need them in the long strips rather than in tiny little pieces, because if you just do little pieces it will fall apart, whereas doing it in the long strips, they're quite sturdy. It's not going to come apart at all. I can't even try and break that actually. I suppose I could if I used a lot of force, but it's pretty good. So that's what you do over and over and over if you've got the patience to be bothered. It's great. Making these molds, they're really lightweight, and so you know, if you wanted to make little embellishments with it, you could send them in the mail and they wouldn't weigh much at all, and they're good to put on projects, put in journals or on a canvas. I learnt the hard way that painting directly on top doesn't really work that well because it just soaks straight into the paper. So gessoing it first really helps. You can see I've just been pouncing it down so it sits flat in there, more or less. So that's how you do it. I won't keep going because that'll take forever. I'll finish that off later. So with this, what I thought is to make a little wreath and decorate that with a few things. So what I need to do first is to put this glue down. I might just get a bit of paper underneath me. Just a bit of old thing I've used as a drop paper, so I don't wreck this board further. So yeah, just, oh, I hope that's not blocked. No, it's good. Squeeze some glue and it's quite thick, so you can work with it quite easily rather than it dribbling everywhere. If I can get the lid back on would be helpful. And I've just got a palette. I used my brush last night and yeah, I wrecked it. So I'm just going to smooth this out like icing, I suppose. It's fun doing this. I was really happy with the outcome of the first one I did. Of course I didn't gesso it, did I? Oops. Hopefully it's alright. Oh no, hang on. I don't know what I'm saying. It's fine. I did it last night. Okay. So now I need to set that aside. So I'll switch the camera off and come back when it's time to do the next stage. See you soon. Okay, it's almost time now. I think I've bumped you in a little bit closer this time. So put it on a clean sheet because I need to now sprinkle some embossing powder. I'm going to use this, what's it called, lavender colour, which is very pretty. Ooh. Lots all over it. I just have to leave it for a little bit longer for that to stick to it. So I'll heat up the heat gun. Alright, now I'm just going to shake that off. Scared to touch it in case I pull the powder off it. But I need to pick it up. I'll just put this back in the pot. Oh, I've missed a tiny touch on a few places. Let's try that again. Maybe the glue wasn't in the right place there. It's a bit... Ah! This is a video on how not to do things. And that's bubbled there. Oh well, that's the way, isn't it? It's on camera. That's what happens. Never mind, I'm going to stick things into that anyway, so I suppose it doesn't matter all that much that it's not super perfect. Swapping papers. Alright, now I'm going to heat this up. It takes quite a while too. I didn't smell all that great. Alright, now quickly, I have a gemstone I want to put. Might turn it round. Trying to decide quickly which end I want. So just push that in and that'll stick. And then I've got some shells. Oh, see, I'm not prepared. I was going to varnish those first. I've got these little things. I might varnish them because I can reheat that when it goes cold, because I did that last night. I took so long putting it together that I had to reheat it. So I'm going to varnish these and come back. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I've done my varnish, and while the camera was off I applied some more glue and some more embossing powder, and I found that the gemstone hadn't stuck down properly, so I put a big blob there, so hopefully it'll stick into it this time. So I'll just shake this off, swap papers, and I should have done this off camera, shouldn't I? Sorry about the boring bits, ladies and gents. Still spilt some. I just leave it over there. Alright, so I'm going to try again now. Hope it works better this time. that bubbling. It's great. Bubble, bubble. It's probably pretty hot too, so I've got to be careful. Oh, squish. This is a lot messier than the one I made last night. Never mind. Now, which way did I want these? I can't remember. I'll do them this way. No time to fiddle about. Ah, it's going to go cold very quickly. Ah, fumble fingers. Stick down. That's always the way. Everything went really well last night and I loved it. Now everything's going wrong. I think there, that's gone cold now. I have to heat this one up again. Oh. This is quite an adventure, isn't it? Alright, now these little tiny things. And I want a couple of hearts and I want these blingy flowers, which are sticky, so I could probably put them on afterwards. I don't need to push them in. Or do I? Maybe I should, because they might not come off. I mean, I'm talking nonsense. I'm going to heat it up again. I'll do one thing at a time. And I might use my tweezers. Ooh. Oops. Oh. Jeepers. Oh my God. My daughter was here, she'd be killing herself laughing with me. I'm a bit strange like that, I suppose. I find things that go wrong extremely funny. Instead of getting upset, I just laugh. I think once, in the whole time the kids were growing up, I actually got upset at something they did. And they were painting in the lounge room on the coffee table, and I said to them, please don't spill that paint on the carpet. And of course, sure enough, about half an hour later they spilled the paint on the carpet, and I came in and I actually got really cross with them. And they both just looked at me blankly like, who is this person? Because normally I would just laugh it off and say, oh well, come on, let's fix it up and clean it up together. And that time I got really cross, and yeah, and then afterwards they pointed out to me how strange it was and how funny I was and that I was angry, and that made me laugh. So yeah, a little story about me. I suppose you could say I'm pretty easygoing. I find a lot of things very funny. I saw a post on Facebook last night that says something about realising that your kids who've grown up to have the same strange sense of humour as yourself. You don't know whether to laugh or to cry. And I posted that to my daughter. She thought that was funny. It's kind of true. I actually do some pretty weird things. That I make up silly songs, and just don't expect me to sing them on camera though. And the kids grew up with me making up all sorts of silly songs and singing to them, and then they started doing it as well. And I made up a song that was a little bit too stupid to show to other people, and my son got up in class one day at show and tell and sang the song in front of the whole class, and the teacher she must have been shocked, like, what the heck, where did that come from? Oh gosh, I don't know why I'm telling you this today. I'm in a fun mood, I think. Alright, last bit. Little hearts, come on. Squish. Ooh, they don't like, I was saying they don't like that heat. It's sort of warped a little bit. But it might be alright. Hopefully it will stick in. I'll just have to push it a bit more. So you need to push it in so that the stuff grabs around it and holds on to the object you've put in there. Oh, I like when it bubbles. Looks really pretty. And I'll turn a little bit. Ooh. I can see a little indentation where I've pushed with the tweezers. There we go. That was a bit of fun. It's not too hot, I'll pick it up and show you. Thinking now, because you can see on the inside the white and the edges, I might, I'm thinking whether I'll emboss or paint. I think I might paint those if I can get a colour close enough to match there, because it looks a bit funny with the white underneath. But that's that one, and I'll show you the one I did last night, which didn't really matter because I did white embossing powder. I really like this one. It turned out really well. Everything stuck in really well. There's no like big lumpy bits or anything. It's kind of a little bit of a nautical theme, isn't it, the blue and white? I like it. Anyway, that was a bit of fun. Thanks for staying with me and watching me play and laugh about silly things. I'm going to go now. It's time for lunch, so I'll say ta-da, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye. cut this bit out. I'll just